Welcome back. It's that time of the year. It's time to spring forward. Well, we may be getting an extra hour of sunlight. We'll also be losing an hour of sleep tomorrow. Joining me now is Dr. Kristen Eckel-Mahan from UT Health Houston. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a big day. I know, a big weekend. Some people are dreading it. I know Brittany and I are. What can people do today to prepare for it?
Well, it's nice if you can ease into this time change, a few days in advance, but even if you ease into it afterwards, that can be effective too if you have the luxury of easing it into it afterwards. And by that I mean going to bed a few minutes early, getting up a few minutes early for the days preceding the phase advance of the clock, which is what we're doing with daylight savings time.
It's going to be so tough for us, especially for those who wake up at different hours of the night. Talk about what people need to do in the coming days. And it's not just to make sure they don't feel tired, it's also to protect their health as well.
Absolutely. So we think the better our internal biological rhythms are aligned with that sun clock, the healthier we are. And so losing this hour of sleep not only makes us tired, but it does, long term can increase our risk of metabolic diseases.
And what does that include?
So we're talking about increased risk of obesity, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance. These type of things are associated with circadian disruption or disruption of our internal biological clocks.
I know it's tough for a lot of adults to understand. You and I both have kids, and so how would you explain this to your children?
Yeah, we talk about what the time change is and how they're going to lose an hour of sleep. They don't care about the politics of why it started, but I do try to mentally prepare them for this hour that they're going to lose. And so we do try to ease into it. But pets and kids are in the same category. Their clock is going to be the same yesterday, or today as it is tomorrow. So they need to ease into it if possible.
That's true. And talk about, many Americans say they prefer this time versus when we go back an hour. So what's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I understand that. I think we just all like to socialize with family, friends, or go exercise after work. And having that extra daylight can really be, advantageous for those things.
Anything that you think anything else that we can do? I mean, I guess that's,
I think we just need to remember that light suppresses our melatonin secretion, which is, of course, our sleep hormone. So if you're enjoying the day, that's great. But if you come back inside and expose yourself to blue light, well into the night, you're really delaying your melatonin onset. So I think it's good to be conscious of that with this daylight savings time.
And be aware this is happening. Set your alarm.
Yes.
Well, obviously, if they're not automatic, like our cell phones and other things like that, make sure that you do it before you go to sleep. Happens at 2 o'clock in the morning, of course, and you can find all of this information and a replay of this segment because you may want to listen back to it. You'll find that on our website, click2houston.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.